Hey guys, it's Skybird, and we've got a bit of a mess in front of us, but we are going to build the Carnax MOC that I designed, which is a combination model from the Carapar and Mantax sets, hence the name. Now, what you see here is not all of the pieces. I can't fit everything on my table here, so even if I tried, I'd be running out of space. We're going to be building just one arm and one leg. They are completely identical, except for one piece, but I'll show you that when we get there. And we do also need the Mantax head, the Mantax tail pieces, and that's honestly pretty much it. So these pieces here, there are only like 6 pieces left over. So let's get right down into it. We're going to start off by building the torso, and so to do that, we're going to go ahead and grab this Vaki hip piece right here, and a 3-length axle, and start to push it in there, but don't push it in all the way. Now we are going to want to attach the Rakshi neck piece, just like this, making sure that the Vaki hip is in line with that neck. Now, once that is done, we're going to go ahead and turn it around so that this is on the back side here, and I am using a reference here. This will end up actually being the front of the model once we have everything done. So this side is going to be on the front side, right? So on the back, we're going to go ahead and put a couple of friction pin axles, just like this, on each side here. And then we're going to go ahead and take 2 of our sockets and connect them just like this. So to the side, right there. All right, now what we want to go ahead and do is we are going to take our Inika armor pieces, and we are going to attach them to those sockets. May have been easier to do this part first, but that's all right. And we want to do it so that the back of the Inika torso is on this side of the model, on the same side as the sockets. I don't know how else to explain that. Next, we are going to go ahead and grab this here, the Rakshi foot, and this connector, and go ahead and put this inside of here, and then grab 2 regular friction pins and attach those to each of these pinholes on each side of that connector. Those are going to click into the Inika back pieces, so on each side, just like that. Hopefully that comes across well. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead and insert this right there inside of that Rakshi back piece, neck piece, whatever you want to call that. Just like that. No stress on any of those parts, so that works out really well. And that is the upper part of the torso. Now, in order to make the shoulders, we're going to go ahead and take the Carapar armor and put an axle in, but don't push it all the way through just yet. And you're going to attach it to this pinhole right here. So just like this. And it will actually hold in place really well because it touches the Rakshi foot. So you can force it past, but it'll lock in place. It's not going to wobble, which is really good. Next, we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Again, attaching it to this pinhole right here. Let me make sure I get that. And then we're going to take another friction pin axle, push it through the back side of the Rakshi leg, and connect a socket. This is where our neck is going to connect later. All right, next, we're going to go ahead and take 2 friction pins, attach them to the front of the model on the Vaki hip here, and then we're going to take the Carapar armor and attach the bottom 2 pinholes to that, and that is pretty much the torso done. Before we finish up, though, we're going to take our Baraki eyes, and I just stack them up here, but honestly, you can put them wherever you want on the model. I just think they look kind of cool on the shoulders. The idea I was going for is that this is like a half-mutant elephant, half-mutant crab. So we kind of came up with the story that like an elephant and a crab both fell in the pit at the same time and kind of combined, which I think is hilarious. So my idea is that these are like the crab's eyes, and then the elephant's eyes are on his head, which is funny. I don't know. It's just, it's an interesting little topic. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to connect these pieces here, just like this. And next, we're going to go ahead and set this aside for a moment. All right, now for the head build, we are going to take our Mantax headpiece here, and we are going to go ahead and attach 2 of the 3 long axles. All right, now that we have that in here, let me go ahead and check real quick, because I do have a reference, as mentioned, because the head build's a little bit more complicated. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and attach a friction pin axle and 1 of these sockets to the side, just like that. All right, now that that is in there, we're going to go ahead and roll it on the underside here, we're not actually attaching it to anything just yet, but let's go ahead and take our Carapar head here, attaching 2 teeth, just like this, kind of similar to Nocturne, but we're facing them outward, and I like to face them kind of off at a 45-degree angle. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is connect our Hordeca necks to some sockets, just like this, one on each side. And then we are going to connect these to the axles here. So we go ahead and push that all the way in, just like that. And now when we go ahead and close this up, this is actually going to lock that hip piece in place, just like that. Perfect. So that is it. And the hips are now locked in. We have a socket on the back end for connecting the neck. And we're going to go ahead and take our Hordeca necks, kind of tilt them upward just like this. And I am going to attach the Mantax claw pieces like this, where the axle sticks up from the top. I don't know how else to describe that. Can you tell I'm tired today? But yeah, with that one out of the way, let's go ahead and attach our Metru handpiece just like that to that socket. That socket is able to move in there as well, so that works out really nicely for us. And we are going to go ahead and attach this to the model now. We'll give it the trunk at the end, but I'm going to wait until the end to do that because that's not actually held in with anything. It's just held in with a friction fit, but it's not going to come off and it doesn't stress any of the parts. So here we are. All right, now we're going to go ahead and build one of our arms first. So we're going to take one of our long sockets, this piece right here, a regular friction pin, and attach the Paraka armor just like that, and attach our Vaki leg, the dark gray Vaki leg, like this. We actually want this side to be out. That's going to connect to the wrist on the build here. Now we're going to take one of our short double sockets and connect the 2 Baraki mandible pieces. Everything that you're doing right now, you will be mirroring, so you will be doing this twice. And we're going to go ahead and connect this to the bottom of the Mantax foot via the pins, if I can get it in there. Try to align it, you know. All right, just like this, click it into place. And then we're going to take our second short socket and go up from underneath, connect it to that axle, and then connect this to this side of the arm, so the hollow side of the Vaki leg specifically. That just allows us to kind of fold it together a little bit more. If you want longer arms, you do still have the Inika leg pieces left over in the build as well, so you can use those. And then you're just going to connect this to the shoulder, if I can get it, just like that. And if you built both arms correctly, they are exactly the same, so no mirroring or anything. You'll go ahead and attach your second arm as well. I understand that everything is upside down for you guys. I do apologize for that. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and start building the leg here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect a pin to another long socket. And I forgot to take this piece out, but I am using a little red spike piece here. That just helps to kind of reinforce this connection. It's not necessary. And on the render, I actually use those red spikes on the armor on the legs instead, because I just think it looks better. But it just helps to kind of hold this in a little bit better. The Carapar armor is a little weird in its shape, and so for these long armor pieces, it can kind of wobble a lot, and this just helps. All right, so now we're going to connect the Vaki leg again with the hollow side facing the front. Then we're going to go ahead and take this piece right here, one of these sockets, connect it to the bottom of your Mantax armor, and connect a 3-long friction pin to that. Now, this is a bit of a cheat. There's actually only one 3-long friction pin in both of these sets total. I added one more, so technically, it's not a true combination. Oh, I also put this on backwards, so let me flip that. Socket should be facing this way. So it's not a true 1-to-1 combination, but I guarantee you that if LEGO had designed this model themselves, they would have added that piece instead. Also, I'm kind of misaligning things here. What's going on? There we go. Got it. Could be a little bit hard to get that snuck in underneath that ball joint, but it does work. Go ahead and connect your leg just like this. We are going to attach the Carapar spike piece, whatever this is called, the claw. And then we are going to attach the squid launcher to the back side of that. The squid launcher is going to allow us to have a much larger leg for the model, and because it's kind of a grippy material, it's going to make the model way more stable as well. So we're just going to go ahead and connect this to the hip here. Do the same on the opposite side. Again, these legs are identical builds except for the squid launcher. They're on opposite sides of the legs. And lastly, the little white horn that you're left with, I just put it on the top of the model, just like that. And that is it. That is Carnax. Oh, before we move on, if you want to attach the tail piece to the head, it literally just slides into the little gap above this gear piece here on the hips, and it'll slide in. And then because that Mantax armor is kind of a soft material, it will hold it in place. It has good friction on it, so you won't have any issues with it falling out if you push it in there all the way, as far as it will go. But that is it. That is Carnax, and I really love the build for it. I think you're just left with the 2 Inika feet, or Inika legs, the 1 black Roxy leg, so if you want a longer neck, you have that option, and you're left with 1 regular friction pin and 1 more Roxy foot, and I believe that's everything, and then the squids and like the Exoforce arms. But other than that, yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I do apologize for everything being upside down on this one. OBS is being weird, so I didn't have any way to fix it, unfortunately, but I'm gonna try. With that said, though, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, because it does help the channel out. And of course, as always, links for this model and everything else in the description below. Check out my Discord for that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.